Good morning, everybody. This is Mike Brennan here at the National Hurricane Center. It's just after 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time on Sunday, July 7th, coming on with the latest on intensifying Tropical Storm Beryl, which you can see here on satellite imagery centered off the Texas coast, just about 200 miles southeast of Corpus Christi, also about 200 miles south-southeast of Matagorda. Beryl is now moving northwestward at about 10 miles per hour. We've had the Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft in there this morning. They've shown data that they've collected has indicated that the maximum sustained winds have come up a little bit, now around 65 miles per hour. And as you can see on radar, the tropical storm is getting better organized, and we are expecting Beryl to regain hurricane strength before it reaches the Texas coast. You can see shower and thunderstorm activity beginning to wrap up here, and we're seeing the formation of a partial eye wall, but not completely closed yet, and that is consistent with what the aircraft is finding as well. But we are expecting Beryl to continue moving on to the northwest and then turn northward, making landfall somewhere along the middle Texas coast overnight tonight or early Monday morning. And again, as we have typical, we have multiple hazards associated with Beryl. Conditions are going to deteriorate pretty quickly along the coast of Texas as we go through the afternoon and certainly through the evening and overnight hours. You can see some of the outer rain bands from Beryl already beginning to affect portions of southeastern Texas, the middle Texas coast, and deep south Texas down near Brownsville. Heavy rain occurring along the immediate coast there. So we're going to see storm surge. Water levels begin to rise late this evening and overnight. Hurricane force winds reach the coast overnight tonight, and then a widespread heavy rainfall event across much of eastern Texas developing over the next day or two. We'll first start off with the storm surge hazard. We have a storm surge warning in effect for much of the coast of Texas from the north entrance of the South Padre Island National Seashore, now all the way over to Sabine Pass, which is the border of Texas and Louisiana. Most concerned about this area from Mesquite Bay eastward, where we could see 4 to 6 feet above of inundation above ground level in places like Port O'Connor, Matagorda Bay, all the way up to San Luis Pass. So again, this is the inundation in here somewhere reaching as high as 6 feet above ground level. So life-threatening inundation expected somewhere in this region. Again, if you've been asked to evacuate, and there have been some evacuation orders issued along the coast of Texas, please comply with those orders. You still have time to get out now before the water levels begin to rise and before the winds pick up later today. East of San Luis Pass, we're also very concerned about the Galveston Bay area, Bolivar Peninsula, over to just west of Sabine Pass, where somewhere in this area we expect to see up to 5 feet of inundation above ground level as that onshore flow blows water from the Gulf of Mexico up into places like Galveston Bay. So be on the lookout for the potential for significant storm surge in that region as well. Moving on to the wind front, we have hurricane warnings in effect from Baffin Bay up to San Luis Pass, so just west of Galveston, including Corpus Christi, Victoria. Most concerned about this region from Mesquite Bay up to San Luis Pass, where we expect to see the core of Beryl move on shore overnight tonight and early Monday morning. We can see in the blue tropical storm warnings in effect for places like Galveston, Houston, Beaumont, Port Arthur, all the way over to the Louisiana border, and also inland as well along the I-10 corridor to the west of Houston. Could see some damaging winds in those areas as well, especially some damage to tree limbs, some power outages. Most concerned about the potential for wind damage here along the immediate coast in that hurricane warning area, however. And we are expecting the tropical storm force winds to arrive along the coast within the warning area by late this afternoon or this evening. So everybody should be completing their preparations in terms of getting ready for the storm and be sheltering in your safe place, certainly no later than nightfall this evening. Prepare to shelter in place all through the night tonight and into Monday morning. If we look at the forecast, again, we're expecting the center of Beryl to reach the coast early Monday morning within the hurricane warning area and then turn northeastward, taking the center across eastern Texas as the system weakens to a tropical storm and then as a tropical depression, bringing the threat of heavy rainfall into portions of the Arklatex and into portions of the Mississippi Valley as we go through the week. So let's touch on the rainfall threat next. This is going to be a widespread heavy rainfall event with 5 to 10 inches of rainfall expected over a wide swath of the Gulf Coast, middle and upper Texas coast, and East Texas, with the potential for some areas seeing as much as 15 inches of rainfall. Very concerned about this region between, say, just east of Corpus Christi up to the Galveston area, where we're expecting the core of Beryl to move inland overnight tonight, expecting very heavy rain there, and then a swath of heavy rainfall along and east of I-45 to the east of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, west of Shreveport, places like Tyler, Palestine, and then heavy rainfall extending up into the Arklatex region as well. This, you can see, these are the flood and flash flood watches that are in effect for places like Houston, Galveston, Bryan College Station, up to east of Dallas, and I expect these watches to be extended eastward as we go through the day today. So now today through early tomorrow morning, the greatest risk for flash flooding is going to be along the coast where Beryl is expected to make landfall from that Mesquite Bay region up to San Luis Pass just west of Galveston. As we go from Monday into Tuesday, however, that risk of flash flooding, this is a level 3 out of 4 risk, is going to include places like Houston, Bryan College Station, up into northeastern Texas, with a broader level 2 out of 4 risk of flash flooding extending to the east side of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, places like Waco, and then on into southwestern Louisiana, Shreveport, up into Texarkana and the Arklatex region. So again, a widespread heavy rainfall threat and flooding threat that will play out over the next couple of days. The tornado threat is going to be highest in southeast Texas as we go from late this afternoon into tonight and early Monday morning. So places like Beaumont and into Cameron Parish, Louisiana, Houston, Galveston, down to just to the east of Victoria. We could see tornadoes spinning up in the outer rain bands of Beryl as those move on shore later today and tonight. I do want to broadly back out and talk about the rip current threat along much of the north coast and west coast of the Gulf of Mexico. You can see a high risk of rip currents in the Florida Panhandle and dangerous ocean conditions across Mississippi, Louisiana, and the Texas coast. So if you are out at the beach, especially over here on the eastern side of the Gulf of Mexico where the weather's a little better, I know it's very hot, people are outdoors, the ocean may be very dangerous, so please heed any warning flags or any advice given by your lifeguards or local officials. Don't become a statistic. The ocean can be very dangerous as the large waves generated by Beryl reach the Gulf Coast, and these dangerous ocean conditions are going to continue for the next couple of days. So let's wrap up just again, reemphasizing the key points. We have the danger of life-threatening storm surge along the coast of Texas. Most concerned about that area from Mesquite Bay eastward up to Sabine Pass, including Galveston Bay, Mesquite Bay, Matagorda Bay area, where we could see in some places up to 6 feet of inundation above ground level. Please follow any evacuation orders that you've been given by your local officials. You still have time to get out ahead of the impacts of the storm. We're expecting damaging hurricane force winds along portions of the Texas coast tonight and early Monday, especially in that area from Mesquite Bay up to San Luis Pass, where we think the core of Beryl is going to move on shore. Again, preparation should be rushed to completion before tropical storm force winds begin later today. And then we're looking at, again, widespread flash and urban flooding, some of which could be considerable in nature across portions of the middle and upper Texas coast, eastern Texas, with that heavy rainfall that's going to play out beginning late tonight, continuing through Monday and Monday night as Beryl moves inland across Texas. So again, make sure you have multiple ways to receive emergency information, especially as we go through the overnight hours. Make sure you have wireless emergency alerts turned on your cell phone so you can receive those flash flood and tornado warnings. Make sure you have a NOAA weather radio. Again, make sure you have, especially in the area where we could see Beryl make landfall, we could see some power outages. Make sure, again, you have your hurricane supplies, several days worth of food, water, emergency supplies, medicines, batteries, everything you're going to need to keep yourself safe for the next several days. So we'll be coming back later on this afternoon with another update on Beryl, and you can always get the latest information here at hurricanes.gov and from your local National Weather Service office at weather.gov. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Brennan here at the National Hurricane Center.